Hi everyone, I'm Mike Charlton, founder and creator of Atlantic City Your Way, and you're watching South Jersey Business with my very good friend, Joe Molyneux.
Welcome to South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. Thank you for joining us as we share information, tips, and techniques that can make our business community and your business more successful. Thank you to Stockton University for the opportunity to produce this show focusing on business in South Jersey. On today's program, we will sit down with Mike Charlton, creator and founder of Atlantic City Your Way. Mike will share portions of his entrepreneurial story. His measurable level of success in creating a business that brings more people to our region is truly inspirational. I've known Mike for a long time, and I have watched as he's built, grew, and marketed his business and brand that brings groups and individuals to our region, strengthening the local tourism market. Mike and the team at Atlantic City Your Way support our community. Those relationships help to create a stronger network and develop quality connections in the local region. Mike's dedication to the local community is always a top priority, even in the midst of all his time and focus that he dedicates to the continued growth of his business. Stay tuned for Mike Charlton of Atlantic City Your Way and more on South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. Welcome back to business. Thanks for joining South Jersey Business with me, Joe Molyneux. Please welcome our guest, Mike Charlton, founder and creator of Atlantic City Your Way. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
I'm glad to be here.
Can you talk a little bit about your background prior to your entrepreneurial endeavor?
Well, I guess my first contact with tourism was in 1979. Bally's Casino was under construction. I was a young man that liked boating and fishing, and I thought, hey, coming down the shore and getting a job would be a pretty good thing. So I got a job as a bus greeter, and not so long after that, as a security guard first, and then a bus greeter. And then bus greeter, I got into bus program management and then bus marketing, and I got involved in marketing and tourism that way. And then I switched to the other side. I wanted to see what it was like from the other side, so I got involved in tour and travel in Philadelphia, sending bus trips to Atlantic City, also then developed day trips to Lancaster and other places, and then that evolved to multi-day trips to Branson, Missouri and Canada and things like that. So that's really where I cut my teeth on marketing and packaging.
That in itself is a full career in tourism, especially in our region and beyond. Can you talk a little bit about what Atlantic City Your Way is?
Atlantic City Your Way is a vehicle to help people come to Atlantic City. Everybody wants to do something and it all like fun, but it's how do I do it in an easy, engaging, non-threatening way. You can call a hotel and you get a rate and there's all kinds of taxes and things and you really don't know what to make of it. And then you're trying to get to a per person price and what's the budget and what about meals and what about sightseeing or golf or fishing and all that. So our technology, which we developed over many years with a company called ResLogic, allows the consumer to pick their date, pick their number of guests, pick hotel rooms, and there's all kinds of additional information and maps and pictures and things, and you just build your trip, and then you might want to add a meal to it. You can add a dinner at any one of the restaurants in Atlantic City. You can add golf, you can add fishing, sightseeing, nightlife, really whatever kind of amenity you want to add to the package. The technology turns it into an all-inclusive per person price.
It's amazing because what you're actually doing is making it easy for people to take care of the business of planning and traveling down to our region to enjoy an experience.
Yes.
It sounds complicated, so I'm just going to ask this question. How many people did it take to build the platform and then to operate a business like this? Because while it seems like a lot goes into the front end of it, there's still the everyday operation that needs to happen. So how many people does it take to operate a business like this?
Well, the technology is key because the technology does the work of several people. If we had to physically talk to and quote and respond to each person that was interested, we wouldn't have any time to do anything but that. The technology allows customers to do most of that themselves, but we always encourage them to call us and talk to us, when they get down to the end and they're going to have some questions. So because of the technology, we're able to run our operation with 3 full-time people and 1 part-time person. But we'd like to grow and be bigger, but it's a relatively small operation, but with the technology that we have, we can cover a lot of ground.
That's great. What is one of the most valuable business lessons you've learned as a business owner?
I guess to stay engaged. And it's something I think I got away from a little bit. Now I'm getting back into and touching base and reconnecting with people. But I think also more importantly is stay in tune with your employees. Find out what they want, what their dreams are, what their future is. And hopefully your operation can help facilitate them where they want to be, whether it's in your company or leading to another opportunity for them.
That's great. And you stay tight. We got more to come in the next segment.
All right, great.
We'll be right back with more business talk with Mike Charlton, founder and creator of Atlantic City Your Way. We're back with today's featured guest, Mike Charlton, founder and creator of Atlantic City Your Way. Mike, how do you define success?
Probably something you really are always trying to get to instead of ever really having it. And I would say that for me, it would be to continue to grow the business, which will help Atlantic City develop its other tourism assets besides casinos, and to employ more people and have them help the community and develop new things and try to keep it fresh.
Speaking of Atlantic City and Atlantic City Your Way, you have so many great and solid marketing partners involved in your business. Can you talk about building and maintaining those relationships? How do you do it?
The best way of doing it is to be a good marketing partner. So if you book something, you make sure you have the reservations in on time. And probably the best thing you can ever do to be a good marketing partner is pay your bills on time when they're due and don't have people calling you looking for money, and manage that part of it really well and have great personal people, working with them and booking the rooms and making reservations. And we have some great ones like Shannon Ott and Nicole and Chris Martin are just absolutely fabulous with people. And that just naturally happens if you have the right people and you take care of your business.
Now, the original model was focused on bringing the groups and the medium-sized groups to the city. You had some golf mixed in there, but now I'm watching the model grow, and it's moving into couples and very targeted segments of our regional community to bring people here. Was that an organic switch, or did you just happen to see these are trends and you're capitalizing them? How did that movement go from the one-size group to maybe the more intimate couples and golf?
I always had the vision, even before we developed the technology, of my main business was golf. It's a niche of tourism. And we had a website where you could go on and everything you needed for a golf vacation was there. And there weren't things on there that you didn't need. You didn't have to sort through something like if you go to a major tourism website, you have to sort through a lot of things to get to what you want. So I thought that was pretty cool, and wouldn't it be good to create those other environments for different genres? So we experimented with a couple different ones, and we opened up a guys getaway, a girls getaway, and those had a lot of similar things like hotels and restaurants, but they had different activities unique to that group, and it turned out to work really well. And then we're always looking to develop other things like couples, and we have a really awesome looking LGBT site. I don't know that we're there yet as a destination for that, but it's a great site. And then family fun site is a nice site, and it just creates an environment that everything you need for a vacation for your interest group is there without sorting through other things that you don't need.
That's great. You have a very robust calendar of events on your website, and you're linked to many, many events. How critical and important is that information to the success of your platform?
I think if you're deciding to go somewhere, and you may be looking at Baltimore, and you may be looking at Atlantic City or New York, and you're like, oh, we want to go somewhere, a group of friends, group of ladies, family, whatever, and you say, okay, let's consider Atlantic City, and you go there and you see the calendar of events, and you go like, wow, there's a rodeo in Atlantic City this week around the time we want to go. Let's go there instead of somewhere else. Where if you were just on a site that didn't offer that, you may choose another destination if you're not marketing the specific events that might attract somebody.
Thanks for sharing your views on success and a little bit more about what you do at Atlantic City Your Way. Stay tuned as we will put Mike Charlton, founder and creator of Atlantic City Your Way, to the test with the M4 Big Money Question right here when we return on South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. As you are aware, management, marketing, money, and media are the essential parts of any business. And when you are planning and customizing the perfect vacation experience at a major city right here on the Jersey Shore, you need to know how to mix up all 4 M's. So it's time for the M4 Big Money Question. Mike, let's break them down. Can you talk to me about your management style?
Casual, to be sure, but there's always like a fire burning in me, and I delegate a lot. My employees, actually, I don't really consider them employees. My coworkers, they have a lot of responsibility, and they take a great amount of pride in their work and delivering the goods to the consumer. So I'm good that way, but I'm usually going to step in every once in a while and say, I think we should be doing this, or I think we should be doing that, or I'd like to see this or that. So I'm mostly hands off, but I always have an eye on it, and I certainly engage when we need to.
Well, let's talk about your marketing. How do you market Atlantic City Your Way to the public?
We recently started doing a little more pay-per-click, but the thing you really want to do is be found, on your own. And so if you search the internet, you'll find any one of our sites, whether it's a golf vacation site or a bachelor party site or family fun or Atlantic City Your Way. So we have pretty good presence on the internet. We also started recently doing some commercials promoting golf vacations and also Atlantic City Your Way for family fun vacations.
So you're using a combination of traditional marketing and some of the web-based things?
Yes.
That's great. It's always difficult to talk about, but let's talk about it. It's part of the 4 M's, money. Talk about your views and how you're utilizing money to do what you do.
My mother told me that I would never have any money because I would give everything away, and she's right. So luckily I have people around me who look out for me that way. But I have an idea of where we want to be or where we can be, and I keep an eye on the booking reports, and everything else comes off that. A certain amount of bookings are going to cancel. So you kind of know where you are at all times based on where you were the year before or previous years. So as long as I see we're doing okay, I'm fine. But I always have a feeling that I'm going to lose everything. So I need to push and try new things and get other things going and maximize, our quote to booking ratio.
I love that answer. That's great. Well, we're at the 4th M. You talked about marketing, but media is a different animal today between the social media and the PR that I know you're getting your fair share of the PR. Can you talk about how important media, the social media piece and the media marketing through public relations is to your business?
Social media, at my age, I kind of missed the cutoff for understanding a lot of the things on the internet, especially social media. But I have a young person, Nicole Macris, who's really sharp and good at this. And, part of her job is to, put information out on various things. And we have several because we have several market segments between guys' getaways and family fun and golf and things like that. So she keeps up on that. And we do some pay-per-click with the Facebook. So I think we're okay there, but no thanks to me. And then as far as other kind of networking and marketing, it's important to work with other people, like on Tropicana's website and resorts. There's links on there to plan a vacation. It's totally seamless. It looks like it's their own vacation department, but it's actually us. We have a similar relationship with Atlantic City Country Club. And I'm actually in talks with the Meet AC people about possibly having a link there. Because it's great to have all this stuff, but you need to facilitate people being able to put a trip together that they're comfortable with, and then feeling confident that they pay this bill and they come and they have a great time.
I want to thank you for sharing your M4 big money question with us today, Mike.
My pleasure.
There you have it. Founder and creator of Atlantic City Your Way, Mike Charlton's well-traveled mix of success in management, marketing, money, and media. Joyce, what is it you do exactly at the Atlantic City Arts Foundation?
Well, Joe, all of our activities are produced to support the mission of the organization, which is to create an environment in which arts and arts organizations can flourish and contribute to the quality of life for the tourists to the city and the residents who live there. So our three signature programs, Chalk About AC, Art Terriers, and 48 Blocks AC, all do that. But occasionally people come from the community, or organizations come from the community and say, can you do this? Would you partner with us to do that? And so the decisions about whether we do those things or not are all, we always go back to our mission and say, does it fulfill the mission? First of all, if it does, and if we can fit it into our schedule, then we move forward with those partnerships with other organizations within the city. One of those was that the firemen came to us one year and asked us to paint all the firehouse windows. So they wanted us to involve the youth in the city. We found 5 different youth groups, had 5 different firehouses, found 5 different artists to go and lead the youth to create those firehouse window paintings. So things like that we do in addition to our regular programs.
Well, I was going to ask you who you serve in your target market, but you answered that question. But I'm going to add one other element. So you not only have the service to the community and the visitor as your target market, but you're also serving the stakeholders' needs and the partners that you're working with, correct?
We try as much as we can.
So is that something that the stakeholders have some decision-making in what sort of events you take? Or is it still an internal foundation decision, but you take note of the desires of the individuals that want to get involved?
Requests come from other places. We just had conversations with the Boys and Girls Club about how they could participate more in our programs and vice versa. So we're not so much reaching out because we're pretty busy doing what we're trying to do, but we also don't want to refuse anybody who comes with a request that we feel like is worth paying attention to and entertaining.
Again, you're a very creative group of people, so there's got to be a way to make things happen and a system that you utilize. Which brings me to the final part of this segment, the spotlight, which would be, what is the inspiration, the motivation? What is the thing that drives you and the board at the Atlantic City Arts Foundation to do this good work?
We recognize the need that's here. Like I said before, it's been defined many times. We feel like we have programs that can fulfill it. Through all of my research that I've done through the years, I know that when you bring arts programs to a city, when you create public art opportunities within the city, we've seen it in the city of Philadelphia with the murals. The community rises to the occasions, takes ownership of the art, and it creates a safer and cleaner community as a result of the art being placed there. When we created the murals for 48 Blocks, all of a sudden neighborhoods were forming neighborhood cleanups because they now have a mural that they were proud of. Part of Atlantic City's slow pace of redevelopment, I believe, is due to the low self-esteem and the poor civic pride that is there. And by creating public art for the city, I think we can increase that. And even in just the 1 year, we saw that happened.
I think that's a great initiative to undertake. I think the work is happening in Atlantic City on the ground in the arts. We started the show talking about it as an economic driver, and now it's basically something that's going to bring the community back to a level and increase that esteem of the community through the arts.
And aid the redevelopment, which is back to the economics again.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for sharing.
Sure thing.
That was Joyce Hagan, Executive Director of the Atlantic City Arts Foundation. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. Having a good community conscience is an important part of building solid business relationships in the region where your customers, friends, and families live. Making a real difference through giving can be part of making a living in business. Here's how this week's guest gets involved to make our communities and region stronger. Dennis, we meet so many businesses that are involved in their community, and the Jitney Association, as well as the individual owners and operators, they're no different. They're involved. Can you talk about some of the ways Jitney owners and the association get involved with the community?
Joe, we have 190 in the fleet, and what we try to do is throughout the city is to any time that there's something we can help out with the city, we do it. They'll give the call to the office will give us a call, we'll get together, whether it's a Boys and Girls Club, something that they need done. We have a big emergency management part of it. Sandy was when we had the flooding for Sandy. We were on the call. We were there, moved people. Whenever we have, say there's a fire in the city, if there's some of the high rises that we have, they'll call us in and ask us to help move some of the folks. Because all of our buses are equipped with handicap accessibility, which is really important for the community. There are folks that are able to get up and down the streets every day, 24 hours a day. If they need to get to the store, if they need to get someplace, or even just go and get out of the house. We're able to do that 24 hours a day with that handicap accessibility, which that fleet that we have, every bus is equipped with it. It really helps out everyone in the city that can get around and that needs it.
Yeah, I know you're part of the emergency evacuation plan as well, so that goes deep. Beyond the emergency stuff, which is so important, that's why I'm glad we started with that, the owner-operators also get involved at a nonprofit level. I know I see them at events, and they'll sometimes donate some of their services to help raise money for different charities. And I know that's not required, but it seems to be something that more and more drivers are doing to support the community. Can you talk a little bit about that?
You're correct, Joe. I know myself, along with some of the other guys in my town, we'll go back around whenever there's some kind of fundraiser for something. If we can do it on our time to move people around, maybe get them back and forth, we'll do it. We're always you'll see us at different events that the city calls in for, if it's a fundraiser. I don't think, there's probably not too many times that we've ever said no to the community, because we're trying to make sure they understand that we're there for them and they're there for us. And we really appreciate that community to be able to use us every day and really we want to be part of them, and we really do appreciate the whole community.
Well, let's combine the two things, emergency or preventing emergencies, and then the community part. I think the Jitney Association does a really good job of promoting that idea of not drinking and driving, because they do offer alternatives to that. You can have shuttle service through different events, and actually bring a Jitney out on your own throughout the community to make sure your people arrive safely to their destination and back home. Is that a call you get a lot of times for services?
We have been. It's something that more and more people are made aware of. They know that they don't want to be on the street when they've had a few drinks. And it's something that I think folks maybe 10 years ago weren't aware of what could actually happen. And I think more and more people are starting to realize, let's be safe, let's be smart, let's get a Jitney, let's go out for the night and enjoy ourselves, not have to worry about driving that vehicle around.
I know that we talked about community, and we're housed here at the Stockton community, and you have a great partnership working with Stockton. Can you talk a little bit about the value there to work with the students as well as faculty and transporting them through the shuttle?
Joe, Stockton's in a great position. They're down at the end, and all the good stuff in the middle of town. They're going to be so happy to be able to just step out in that street, get to the curb, jump on the Jitney, take us down, go down to the walk, go down to the shops, go see what's going on in town, go to dinner, just get out of the place. Whenever they have to come out, it's 24 hours a day. They can't sleep. They want to get out for a couple hours to go have a drink, go have something to eat. They're going to be able to walk right outside there, right on Albany Avenue, get anywhere in the city they want to pretty much 24 hours a day. It's going to be a great fit for both of us.
Yep, you're established, 190 drivers at their disposal and the community's disposal. I want to thank you for being a big part of the community.
Joe, I really appreciate you having me today. I really do.
Thanks. That was Atlantic City Jitney owner and operator Dennis Gitsis. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. Mike, let's talk about what you do at Atlantic City Your Way.
Mm-hmm. Well, very simply is we created a cyber tourism Atlantic City platform to allow the consumer to build an all-inclusive vacation a la carte and The end result is an all-inclusive per-person price, and then we deliver the goods. They pay us, and then we pay for everything and make all the reservations and arrangements, and when the guest shows up, all they have to do is come here and have fun.
Well, that sort of describes how you do what you do, but it's a little deeper than that, right? You have a team behind you that helps you maintain all those relationships as well as the platform itself, correct?
Yes, it's all about relationships. I can't send anybody to a hotel if I don't have a way of making a reservation and relationships. And the big advantage we have starting out is my last job before I started this business was working in the hotel industry as a director of sales, and I've worked at several Atlantic City hotels. So the main thing you need to start a vacation is lodging. So that gave me a leg up because I knew everybody, and people were willing to give me a chance, and that's what got me started.
Who makes up your customer base?
The clientele is different depending on the market segment. Like we have a golf vacation site, golfac.com, and that is primarily men 35 to 65 years old who come down with a group of guys in the spring and the fall as an all-inclusive golf vacation. And then we have guys getaways, and we market to them more social media-wise, and those are, 20-somethings to early 30s, and then we have ladies, and then we have families, which are young families looking for something to do. So our customers vary, and our websites are custom designed to each market segment.
The final question would be, why do you do what you do? What drives you?
What drives me is a vision of Atlantic City being more than just casinos, and that was enough at one time. But my background is really tourism and packaging, and Atlantic City has more than anybody could ever offer, and being so close to such major markets, if they were aware that we had great boating, fishing, nightlife, spas, you name it, it's all here. And we just have to get the word out, and if we do and we get them to our sites, we have the technology and the experience to create a tremendous vacation right here in Atlantic City.
I want to thank you for allowing us to turn the spotlight on Atlantic City your way.
My pleasure.
That was Mike Charlton, founder and creator of Atlantic City Your Way. We'll be right back with more South Jersey Business. The crew here at South Jersey Business appreciates those of you that tune into the show each week. From time to time, we receive questions from our viewers, and we always do our best to respond to your inquiries. So it's time for Q&A. Here's this week's question. As the high-traffic seasonal portion of my retail business ends, what can I do to keep in touch with customers to help increase year-round sales? That is a very good question. Unfortunately, part of the answer may involve your ability to do your best Marty McFly Back to the Future impersonation and travel back to the beginning of your busy season. The best way to keep in touch with your customer base during the off-season is to collect some basic customer information during your season. This will enable you to maintain those important connections during the slower times for your business. Acquiring emails and first names are great. Asking them to follow you on social media is also good. But one way to make sure they stick with you in the off-season is to offer great info, potential savings, or special offers, even during your busiest of times. Perhaps creating a monthly special theme, where each month there is a different promotional offer or sale on a specific product or service. This could not only entice your customer base to check out what is happening during one month, but also to persuade them to return in future months as well. So keep up on that all-important customer connection list, and remember to keep creating fresh new offerings on a consistent basis all year long and not just during those busy times. I hope that helps answer your question. We'll be right back. Well, that's the show. We had a quality conversation and even shared a bit of the spotlight with entrepreneur Mike Charlton, creator and founder of Atlantic City Your Way. We also shined the spotlight on the Atlantic City Arts Foundation, learned how the Atlantic City Jitney Association is helping the community, and even answered a question. Once again, thank you to Stockton University and everyone that makes this program possible. Let's do it again next week, and until then, let's get growing, South Jersey. Thanks for watching.